Hello and welcome to another episode of the PirateDiffusion Show. We're sponsored by Gradient. Try 5 of our bots free at gradient.ai. No registration required. Unlock all of our tools for newer models and more power. All right, hey guys, I'm joined by our lovable hosts, co-hosts, all you gang. We got Eggs Benadryl and we've got Captain Morgan Freeman.
Yo!
Doing good. It's been a while, huh?
Been a minute.
And all sorts of stuff happens.
Got to meet this guy in person. This is very, very exciting.
Oh my gosh, that was quite a trek down to your corner of the world, hanging out, eating nonstop. What did we have? It was like those rice triangles, whatever those. Oh my gosh!
Every time. Yeah, that thing is a piece of art. It's a rice triangle, and it's got 3 steps to it where it keeps the seaweed separately from the rice, so it's like perfectly crisp when you bite into it.
Yeah.
Onigiri, which means
onigiri.
the devil's.
That's the thing they had on the Pokemon sub from like 90s. Remember on English they called it donuts, and then they were all eating those.
Oh,
like, okay.
Yeah, it's just Japanese staple food. It's called onigiri, which means the devil's tooth.
Oh wow.
It's
yeah, but it was
a little triangle.
We were just wandering, going to all the 7-Elevens, non-stop onigiri. Cutting through the noise here to get a little bit of content for our loyal listeners here. What do we have today for everyone? We've got, there's so much. I don't know if we'll be able to cover it all in one go.
Yeah, the main thing that we wanted to do this episode is people are always asking, can we do more examples, and can we make examples easier to use? So we've made a ton of changes to the website, and why don't we take them through some of that?
Yeah, absolutely. So gradient.ai, that's the website we're referring to. Is that right?
Yep. So I've got it up on my screen here, and I'm going to log in. So if you're not a member yet, you can see what our bots look like and how to use them. And there's 5 example bots here that are free. So no registration required. You can just click into it and talk to one of our bots. I'm going to go back to examples. Yeah. So I'm logged in, and here on the tools screen, there's a new button called Load Example. So I'm going to click on that. And you can click into any of these images created by our community and get the full prompt, how it was made. If you click the Unified button, that will open it in the Unified editor, and you've got all your settings and exactly all the steps they took to make that picture. So, loading a popular prompt.
Nice.
Yeah, looking at examples, and to get your image featured into the featured work page, there's a new command called /featured that you can run on your image in PirateDiffusion to nominate your picture or someone else's picture and get it into our examples. So that's a brand new thing, and it's really designed for beginners to learn by doing, from by example.
And that's definitely something I know people ask, how did you get this? How do you do that? Having a curated list of everybody's, anything people nominate themselves, that's going to be good, put on there. So you can definitely look there, browse it every once in a while, grab something, test out some new models.
Yeah, every time I bounce between the channels and I see something that makes me go, holy crap, like what's the prompt on that? In that moment, nominate that image for a feature. And then it can, if it's accepted, it can go up and everyone else can gawk at it. Break it down, learn the secrets.
So we're just getting started with this feature, and we're adding hashtags, and you're going to be able to follow by interest and follow by creator. So this is the start of our social network. It's going to be it's going to be pretty cool. So,
it's the early days.
Yeah, we really want to show. There's so many talented creators, and there's millions and millions and millions of images in the system right now. So servicing that and also integrating that, when you're browsing for models and seeing like a featured image next to a concept, for example, and being able to go right into the editor with it or get the prompt.
Yeah,
it's gonna make it so much easier.
Absolutely.
It gives you a good idea of what's even possible, like you get writer's block in a way of prompts and stuff. And it's like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
What can it even do? You go, oh, it can make an octopus guy eating popcorn in a movie theater with a hat on. It's like, oh, I would never thought that it would actually do all those things.
A new feature that we also added is called workflows. Workflows. The idea of workflows is we've put together a multiple step process that would take a lot of setup to do on a software called Comfy UI, and we're making it accessible as a point and click setting right within our website. So you just hit render right there. I did it earlier as I was testing. So my frog in space is really easy to use, and just pops right up in your browser.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been messing around with the workflows, and they're pretty powerful. Since it uses that Comfy UI. If you look that up on the internet, find a cool one. You can add it yourself, or we can try to figure out how to help you with that. What's cool about them, I think, is the so like on normal rendering, you render, then you upscale, and you upscale manually. With workflows, you can make one that does it all in one. So you render, and then it upscales automatically. It jumps to the end, and you have a huge, beautiful picture.
Yeah, it's really powerful stuff.
Right. So essentially, you're like automating a lot of the tedium, a lot of the bricklaying, so to speak, such that you can skip all the middle stuff, get your like all the steps taken care of, roll it all up, like a super recipe.
Exactly, it's like a super recipe. So there's some really fun ones, like converting a drawing into a picture, or vice versa. We have workflows for upscalers. So there's new upscalers here. Some of the newer models are on here as well. Stable Diffusion 3.5, which we'll cover in a sec. And before we move on to the new models and the upscalers, I wanted to take a moment to talk about this really powerful concept called DMD. And I've made a little note here in the Unified Editor. I'm going to launch Unified Editor, and I have a template here that you can copy. I'm going to put it in the positive prompt.
What does DMD stand for while we're waiting here? Dynamic
distribution,
macro.
matching, distillation.
Sick. I was about to guess that. Oh my gosh.
Distribution, matching, distillation.
Oh my god. So good.
So that's the key. It's the distillation. And so there are those models we've seen before, like Hyper or Lightning. Those are all LoRa's to speed up the generation time. But this one really is shoulders above all the ones I've ever tried. I use it exclusively for every render now. It's so fast.
It's incredible. And we've made, so that's how so you have the template there in Unified. You can try it out, and it's going to give you back up to 9 images under a minute. It's really, really fast.
Nice.
And I'm going to switch to my Telegram here. We've made a recipe called just hashtag DMD Pony, and you can get very realistic images effortlessly, a lot of images all at once, just by starting your prompt with that. You may want to start your prompt with save for work, because it's loading the pony model, which is a really flexible model for getting stable diffusion to do what you want. Eggs, you have a DMD recipe that you wanted to show us, is that right?
Yeah, it's a simple one that works for. I'm pretty sure the way I set this up, you can use any Excel model with it, and that one is just hashtag DMD. So if in Telegram, if you want to try it out, all you have to do is do /render like you would normally do, hashtag DMD, and then your prompt, and it'll spit out some images. And this one said 14 seconds. So,
wow,
it's the quickest way to get what you test something out. I think it defaults to RealViz.
Okay.
I also made a couple for upscaling quickly. If you like this image, you want to upscale it, you can do /more and hashtag more DMD1, and then that's it. And then it'll give you 9 upscaled images in 30 seconds.
Nice. Oh, yep, I got my wizard frog at 7-Eleven pretty quick.
Yeah, so I've got this here on my screen right now. So this one I used render hashtag DMD nuclear bomb inside a living room. My initial renders, gives me exactly what I wanted.
Those look great.
I was expecting to get like a bomb rather than an explosion. But I do like the idea that your fireplace is literally just an ongoing nuclear explosion.
I want to try that one.
You can only dream.
And then to upscale that, all I had to do then was on my screen here, you can see /more, hashtag more DMD1, and that's the first pass, so to speak, on an upscale. So it gave me 9 images upscaled at 1536 by 1536. I think it defaults to a wider screen resolution, but you can specify if you want.
Speaking of upscalers, we have a couple of workflows for people that want to try the different types of upscalers. So there's 2 types, right? There's a type that just kind of samples up the pixels that are on the screen, and then there are creative upsamplers that will also take a prompt and reinterpret the image. You can find the list of the new upscalers on the workflows starting point on our tools dashboard. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to scroll down to the upscaler section. So here you can see all the different new ones that we have. Ultra sharp, 8K, it'll literally give you an 8K image. I recommend trying this one, Upscale Remakri. So Foolhardy Remakri is a very popular upscaler. And here on the right of it, the one called Superior is the creative type, where you can follow that with a prompt, and you can see that the starting image was very blurry, and what we ended up with was a slightly different person, but it's a very clear picture. So, and then Swin IR is another one that we added. So these are some new workflows that you can do right within Telegram. So if you look at my my wizard frog here on Telegram, I can reply to it and just type the workflow command, and there's a shortcut for that. You can just type WF and not type workflow all the time. Run scale Remakri is the one I recommend, and in a couple of seconds that'll give us high res 2K to 4K image. And there's a little watcher there that you can pop up and watch the exciting progress and all the crazy things we have to load in the background to make that work. There it goes. Very
Just
fast.
for fun, I plugged in a workflow, your AAA Flux, but I plugged the DMD Pony recipe into it, and it worked. Very interesting. Kind of crazy results, though, but super cool. I'm a big fan of any shortcuts, so /WF, I can remember that.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
AAA Flux is maybe my favorite new Flux workflow. You can get really, really, really interesting pictures from it. My top 3 right now are AAA Flux, which is conveniently pinned at the top left of the workflow's starting point in our tools dashboard. Another great one is iPhone photo. So it makes realistic images. So while that runs, how about you guys? What are the new and favorite concepts or features that you're excited about?
So we were talking about it here in a bit. I think a couple of those new models. I've been really enjoying. Stability. The people who make Stable Diffusion from the get-go, 1.5 and so on, kind of dropped the ball with version 3. The community kind of some backlash there, and then they came around and released 3 new models, 3 new versions of it, and they're all quite a bit better. They might not be up to Flux quality. Flux is the other hottest, biggest model we can run, and that's what you are running right now, the AAA.
Yep.
But the new stability ones are pretty good. They're a lot lighter weight. They'll probably render a lot faster. I mean, they still use some of those large clip models behind the scenes, but it's a big step up. And some of them have interesting features. So there's 3.5 medium, which is a lot smaller of a model. The parameters, and millions of images that it's trained on. But something interesting about it is you can render natively at a much higher resolution. It supports 1000 by 2000 or something, when all other models, even Flux, only supports 1000 by 1000. You can really crank up the resolution if that's something you want to try.
Yeah, let's try that.
I think I have one of those. I think I have one actually that I made. Here, I forwarded a bunch of my 3.5 images that I liked.
Nice.
There's one of these.
Man.
That was super high resolution. That looked really nice. That one looks pretty cool. And it handles artists' references very well, which is something I use a lot. Flux does, but with Flux, it kind of loses the artist reference. As soon as you type more prompts, it forgets who you want it to look like, which is kind of strange. All models kind of do that, but Flux is pretty bad about it. But here's that one I made before. I think this is 1800 by 1000 something. And I didn't have to upscale this at all. It just naturally can render that large. You can see all the detail on the bottom and the background.
That's really cool.
The beard.
I love
his massive helmet.
The color quality of Stable Diffusion 3.5 is really interesting. There's a slightly different aesthetic to it.
You get pretty saturated
right
out of the box.
And that's really what it is. It's the saturation is cranked up a little bit higher. I feel like
it's very punchy.
And these aren't from a fine tune or anything. These are base models. So I mean, to me that's an indication of if the community really jumps on it, which I hope they do. It'll only get better. Just like XL didn't look amazing, with its base model, but
right.
There's definitely some potential there. And you can run that with Workflow SD3.5, I believe. I'm not sure what the medium workflow is called.
Oh yeah, so let me look up our reference here in workflows. So we have the whole family of SD 3.5. You can try the full checkpoint. We have medium, and we also have the turbo model, as well as the classic 3.5. If you want to revisit Ladies in the Grass.
Oh man.
And there's also a workflow for image to image, so you can convert your pictures to. We recently added image to image with Stable Diffusion 3.5 and also with Flux. So Flux Remix is also available as a workflow.
Didn't you say you had like a coffee table book of that artist? Simon Easley?
Oh, Simon Easley. Yeah. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, his style's in. This is medium, and that I think this is his artist reference. Yeah. So that's one thing I love, just because there's some stuff you'll never get out of these models, I find, just by prompting. You know, how are you going to prompt for all those details in the arm or something like that?
Yeah.
But if you toss a couple artist references in there, it kind of pulls from a lot of different sources.
Yeah.
And you get something super unique.
Yeah, absolutely. There's something to be said about, from time to time, just providing less prompts, words, like give it less, and sometimes you'll be surprised that it can do more. Whereas, we should probably, that would make for a topic for a whole episode about some, prompting wizardry. But I found sometimes the less I try to steer it, the more impressive the results can be. Whereas if I have something in my head of what I think looks good, it'll just, it won't surprise me in quite as many nice ways.
It's funny. I think a lot of that also depends on the model. 1.5, it doesn't know, none of these models know anything, but in the sense that it kind of knows more what you want, if you describe something. So you can kind of pigeonhole something by being too specific. And so 1.5 was always pretty good at that it would kind of not, quote unquote, know what you're looking for, meaning it would give you a lot greater variety. Yeah. So Flux and all of these are super, super powerful, meaning they can give you exactly what you want, but sometimes you have to know what you want. And we don't always know exactly what we want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Note, going back to what you said about artist names, for folks that like illustrated works and anime, there's a new fad or trend or type called illustrious. And if you look on my screen here, I clicked on tools, I clicked on concepts, and you can filter by the illustrious models in our concepts system here. It's a full model, and there's a few of them that you can choose from, and we're adding my spelling here is terrible.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Ogre fingers. Here we go. The illustrious model set. These are really popular right now, and they'll follow artist names really well.
Tried them.
Cool.
Yeah, that's what I read. I think it's it's kind of like Pony in its capabilities.
Right.
If you catch my drift.
Yep.
But it knows artists. I think I've tried it a couple times.
Does good.
I'm not sure. If it has does it know classical artists or mostly just like anime artists?
I think it's mostly.
That'd be something interesting to test.
Yeah, it's mostly anime. For classic,
they might be buried in there.
That whole thing is really interesting. So Pony, it was discovered that Pony has all of these hidden artists as 3-letter macros, and we can link that in the show notes.
Yeah.
So
that is a
scandal alert.
I got into a rabbit hole. I got into a big rabbit hole, and I was testing thousands of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the illustrious.
We're science.
The illustrious training is demystifying that and actually putting in the artist names.
Nice. Now, I don't know if I ever read an explanation why they did that in the first place, but it's funny. You type XDJ and it changes the style entirely, or something, some other 3 random letter, and it's like, and how would anybody know?
Yeah,
you sit around all day trying to test them all.
I don't know if there was ever an official statement from the creator about that. It was, or maybe they were trying to do it more
mysterious.
Yeah, I don't want to speak on their behalf, but well, I'll leave it at that.
One of the mysteries of the universe.
One of the mysteries. One of the dramas.
Hey everyone. Here at Gradient AI, we now offer online coaching services for newcomers and experienced users alike. Yes, we all love AI, but our coaches are real live humans that will help you in real time. My name is Professor Prompt, and I'm just one of the talented coaches you can find at Gradient AI. Drop by gradientai.com/training to see everything we can do for you and to book your first session today. Happy prompting!
So, folks, working on this AI stuff can be pretty daunting. There's a lot of things to cover and complicated. So we are now offering one-on-one coaching. It's available right on our website. If you roll over the support tab, you'll find one-on-one coaching. You can meet a real human who will walk you through all of the steps and help you build the kind of things that you want to create with AI. Professor Prompt, which is not one of us, but Eggs is also one of our coaches, is available, and that's a separate service that you can book right on our website. We've got a calendar. It's limited availability. There's only so many of us, but if you really need an expert in your corner, take us up on it.
That sounds awesome.
And whatever questions you guys have, what was that?
I was saying, can I book one? I'd like some time with you, Eggs. That'd be cool. I want to pick your brain. Every time I see your renders, I'm like, how do you do that? Where do I start?
Yeah, I mean, there's just, we pour so many hours into these things, you might not even think that you're doing the best of the work, that you can, but then people go, man, I really like that. It's like, yeah, man, you just pick up the little lessons and they all become a portfolio of little nuggets of knowledge stuff. You'd be surprised how it's just like learning any kind of skill, really.
That's amazing.
You just figure it out and then add it to your work belt there.
Yeah,
if anybody wants to if anybody wants to book it, I think you're gonna have a calendar tool to do that, right, Captain?
Yep, really flexible, multiple time zones.
Then depending on the coach, I think whatever content they want to cover. But I know that I can help people out with safe for work, not safe for work. If you want to learn how to do stuff on your own computer with your own software, editing, all those kind of things, ins and outs of pretty much every Pirate Diffusion tool. Anybody that's listed on there will have a lot of experience and able to help you out.
Rock on.
Sounds cool. Yeah, so we covered a little bit of everything today, and I just want to extend a special thanks to our wizard behind the scenes, Archie-san. Once again, we owe you a big one for putting this all together for us. We have a really easy job here. We just be silly, talking to the mic, look at all the crazy stuff going on in the art world. So thanks for joining us for episode 9 of the Pirate Diffusion Show. This is Squibduck speaking, and from all of us here at Gradient, so Eggs Benadryl and Captain Morgan Freeman, and everyone else on the behind the scenes, thanks for watching.
See you guys later.
All right.